It was a Thursday morning when I noticed it. Lucas was sitting at the kitchen table staring at his phone with a smile I hadn't seen directed at me in weeks. "Who's that?" I asked, half joking. He locked his screen immediately. Like the phone burned him. "No one," he said quickly, too quickly. My chest tightened, but I brushed it off. I didn't want to be that girlfriend, paranoid, suspicious, insecure, but something felt different, off. Wrong in a way I couldn't explain. The midnight whisper 2 nights later. I woke up at 1:13 a.m. Lucas wasn't beside me. I heard whispering from the living room, a low, soft voice that wasn't his usual tone. A gentle tone. "I miss you too," he whispered. My heart stopped. I didn't move, didn't breathe. I stayed in the hallway, hidden behind the corner. A woman laughed softly through the speaker. Lucas chuckled back. It wasn't a laugh he used with me anymore. I wanted to walk in, to scream, to tear the phone out of his hand, but I froze instead, my body choosing survival over confrontation. The lie I tried to swallow the next morning. I tested him. "You were up late, everything okay?" He didn't hesitate. "Oh, that, I was playing video games with Ryan." I stared at him, blank, emotionless. Ryan wasn't even on our character list. He didn't exist in my world. Lucas made him up instantly, a fake name for a real lie. I felt my stomach twist, but I nodded anyway. Because sometimes it's easier to pretend you believe someone than to accept that they're not who you thought they were. The moment the universe whispered the truth that same afternoon, Hannah, my coworker, handed me her phone to show me a funny meme. A message preview popped up on her lock screen, a group chat, from Nora, Chloe's sister. It read, "Did Chloe tell Ava about Lucas yet?" Everything inside me stopped, every muscle froze. Hannah looked up at me. "Ava, what's wrong?" I couldn't answer, because in that single moment the universe had whispered the name I had been terrified to say, Chloe, my best friend, my closest confidant, my safe place, and suddenly the silence made sense. The whisper made sense. The lie made sense, but I didn't confront anyone, not yet, because if they were going to betray me, I was going to make sure they regretted it. I didn't go to work the next morning. I couldn't. Every time I blinked, Nora's message replayed in my mind like a broken neon sign. Did Chloe tell Ava about Lucas yet? It wasn't just a hint. It was confirmation wrapped in casual gossip and delivered straight into my hands. My best friend, my boyfriend, both sharing a secret that had my name written all over it. But secrets don't stay hidden when I'm watching. The first breadcrumb, I decided to start with the easiest place to find answers. My own apartment. Lucas left for work around 8:20 a.m. He kissed my forehead on his way out, the same forehead he probably lied to the night before. As soon as the door shut, I grabbed his laptop. He always thought I didn't know his password, but Lucas is predictable. People who lie often are. I typed in the code he uses for everything. It opened. Of course it did. The messages I'll never forget. I didn't go looking for anything specific. Just clicked. Messages, photos, documents. It took 2 minutes, maybe less. A folder sat on his desktop labeled work trips, but inside were screenshots. Screenshots of messages. Screenshots with a contact saved under one single letter. See, my heart pounded so loudly I could hear it echo in the apartment. I clicked the first screenshot, and I saw her name, Chloe. Chloe. Last night was risky but worth it. Lucas, she won't find out. She trusts both of us. My vision blurred, my throat tightened, my hands shook, but I kept scrolling. More messages, more proof, more betrayal. Chloe. I can't stop thinking about you, Lucas. Ava has no idea. She always thinks we're just close friends. My stomach twisted so hard I had to hold the table to keep from collapsing, but the worst part wasn't the cheating. It wasn't even the lies, it was the tone, casual, comfortable, warm. The tone people use when they've done this more than once. My breaking point, I sat there for nearly 10 minutes, staring at the screen, letting the truth burn into me like a tattoo I didn't ask for. But I didn't cry, not once. Tears meant pain. Pain meant weakness, and I refused to give them that. Instead, I smiled, because I finally had what I needed, proof, and proof is the first weapon in revenge. I sent everything to myself, every screenshot, every photo, every message. Then I wiped my prints off his laptop and closed it quietly. The unexpected knock just when I sat down on the couch trying to breathe. Someone knocked softly on my door. I checked the peephole. It was Elias, my neighbor, the one who minded his business. the one who barely spoke more than a polite hello. I opened the door anyway, pretending to look normal. "Morning," he said carefully. "Sorry to bother you, but I saw something last night." "Something?" I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. He shifted uneasily. "Ava, I saw Lucas outside around midnight. He wasn't alone." My stomach clenched. Who was he with? Elias hesitated, then answered, "Chloe." There it was, confirmation from a witness I didn't even ask for. The universe wasn't whispering anymore, it was screaming. The moment I switched, I didn't feel heartbreak, not even betrayal. I felt clarity, the kind of clarity that sharpens every thought, every breath, every intention. Lucas and Chloe thought they were smart, sneaky, untouchable, but they forgot one thing I don't lose. I stood up, grabbed my bag, and headed for the door. "Ava, where are you going?" Elias asked. I smiled, not kindly. "To start a fire," I said, "and watch who burns first." Revenge doesn't start with a scream. It starts with a conversation, the right one with the right person at the right moment. And my moment came faster than I expected. Because the first person to break was Lucas, wasn't Chloe. It was Nora, Chloe's sister. The girl who couldn't keep a secret if her life depended on it. The call that changed everything. At 3:17 p.m., Nora called me. Her voice was shaky, wavering, like she was holding something inside she didn't know how to carry. "Ava, do you have a minute?" she asked. I leaned back in my chair and smiled to myself. "Of course," I said sweetly. "What's going on?" Silence, a long, heavy silence. Then she burst out. "I think Chloe and Lucas are hiding something from you." I closed my eyes. "Oh, Nora, thank you for your big mouth." I pretended to sound confused. "What do you mean?" I asked. Nora exhaled shakily. "They've been acting weird. Disappearing together, whispering. Chloe deletes messages when she's around you. She never deletes anything." My fingers tightened on the phone. "And last night," Nora continued, "I heard her sneaking out around midnight. She didn't come back until almost 3 a.m. I kept my voice soft. "Do you know where she went?" "Not exactly," Nora whispered. "But when she walked in, she smelled like Lucas's cologne." There it was. The detail that turned suspicion into a smoking gun. I let a slow breath out, controlled, steady. "Thank you for telling me, Nora. I really appreciate it." "I don't want to get involved," she said quickly. "But you don't deserve to be lied to, not by them." "No," I said quietly, "I don't." The perfect accidental helper. The moment I hung up, I felt it. Momentum. The truth wasn't just leaking, it was pouring. And Nora had handed me the match I needed. But I wasn't done yet, not even close. The cafe worker who saw everything. I walked to the cafe near our apartment, the one Lucas pretended he didn't like. The one where he never goes. Miriam was behind the counter, wiping down tables. She looked up and smiled when she saw me. "Ava, haven't seen you in a while." I forced a smile. "Hey Miriam, I just needed a coffee. And maybe a little information." She raised an eyebrow. "What kind of information?" I leaned against the counter, lowering my voice. "Has Lucas been coming here lately?" Her reaction was instant. Subtle but instant, a tiny freeze, a flicker in her eyes. She looked around the empty cafe, then sighed. "Ava, I didn't want to say anything. I thought maybe they were planning something for you." My heart chilled. "They," I repeated. "Yes," she whispered, "Lucas and Chloe." I felt my blood turn to ice. Miriam continued, "They've been here a lot together, early mornings, late evenings, sitting in the corner booth, laughing, whispering. Some days they stayed for hours. And neither of them mentioned it to me," I said softly. She shook her head. "I'm sorry, I didn't want to assume the worst, but seeing your face now, I think you already know." I nodded slowly. Her confirmation fit perfectly with Nora's slip, with Elia's observation, with Lucas's late-night whispers, with the messages on his laptop. The puzzle wasn't a puzzle anymore, it was a picture, a clear one. Lucas and Chloe were just cheating. They were comfortable, consistent, bold, and worst of all, they thought I was too blind to see it. The switch flips as I walked home. Something inside me shifted, not anger, not sadness. Something colder, sharper, cleaner, a mindset. I wasn't the heartbroken girlfriend anymore. I wasn't the betrayed best friend. I was the woman holding the truth in one hand and their fate in the other. By the time I reached my apartment building, my plan had already formed. Step by step, move by move, person by person. And the first contact I needed was waiting in the hallway, as if fate placed him there, Elias. He looked at me surprised. Ava, you okay? I smiled, the kind of smile that means war. Yes, I said calmly, I actually need your help. His eyebrows lifted. For what? I stepped closer, lowering my voice. To ruin two liars who think I'm stupid. Elias' expression slowly shifted into something like respect. I'm in. Revenge isn't rage, revenge is precision, the kind of precision surgeons envy. And with Elias willing to help, I had someone who saw things from the outside, someone who wasn't tangled in the lies the way I was. This wasn't just personal anymore, it was strategic. I wasn't going to confront Lucas or Chloe. Not yet. Confrontation gives them time to lie, time to twist, time to play innocent. I wanted truth, unfiltered, raw, caught in their own words. So my first trap began with one simple thing: silence. The plan begins. Elias and I sat in my apartment, the curtains drawn, notebooks open like we were mapping a crime scene. He leaned forward. Okay, so what exactly do you want to do? Everything, I said. But we start small. I opened my laptop, the same one that held Lucas's deceitful conversations. We make them comfortable, we make them think I'm clueless, we make them drop their guard completely. Elias nodded slowly. And then, I said, we let them expose themselves. Step 1, make Lucas confident. I texted Lucas around noon. Me, hope you're having a good day. Read, don't forget we're having dinner with Chloe tonight. A bold lie. A sweet one, a perfect one. Within 30 seconds he replied, Lucas, dinner? I thought we were staying in. I smiled to myself. Me, Chloe texted me this morning. She insisted we all hang out. She's been feeling distant. A direct jab, a subtle test. If Chloe didn't tell him she talked to me, he'd panic. If she did talk to him, his lies would have to match hers. Two liars trying to sync stories, they always slip. Lucas replied after a minute. Lucas. Oh yeah, right, okay, dinner sounds good. He was lying, I could feel it. Elias read the messages over my shoulder. He's scrambling. Good, I said, we're just getting started. Step 2, make Chloe slip. I texted Chloe next. Me. Hey, Lucas told me you invited us to dinner tonight. Everything okay? She responded fast, too fast. Chloe, yes, definitely. I just wanted to catch up with you both. Been feeling distant. My stomach twisted, but my smile didn't fade. She mirrored my exact wording. Lazy, sloppy, panicked. Elias looked impressed. They're already sweating. They should be, I said softly. They don't know what I know. Step 3. Plant the seed before Lucas and Chloe could coordinate. I set the real trap. I messaged Nora. Me, hey, if Chloe asks about dinner tonight, act surprised, okay? Her reply was instant. Nora, wait, there's a dinner. She didn't tell me anything. Should I ask her about it? Me, no, just be surprised, trust me. Nora was clueless, emotional, and unpredictable, the perfect wild card. I needed someone who could observe without being caught, someone who wasn't directly tied to either of them, and I had that person, Miriam. I returned to the cafe and found her wiping down tables again. She smiled when she saw me. Back so soon? I lowered my voice. Miriam, if Lucas or Chloe come in today, can you let me know? I won't ask you to say anything, just a simple message. She didn't hesitate. Of course, Ava, you deserve to know. I exhaled slowly because something told me she'd be messaging me soon. The unexpected door knock. As soon as I returned home, the knock echoed through the apartment. Not gentle, not hesitant. Sharp, loud, urgent. Elias stood up immediately. Expecting someone? He asked. No, I walked to the door, heart steady, mind sharper than ever. I opened it, and there she stood, Chloe, her eyes slightly wide, her smile nervous, her hands fidgeting with her phone. Ava, she said softly, can we talk? Perfect. She walked right into the trap. Chloe stood at my door like she was auditioning for the role of concerned best friend, but her eyes betrayed her. Too alert, too calculating, too scared. She wasn't here to talk, she was here to manage me, to check if I suspected anything, to control the narrative before dinner, to keep her secrets safe. Big mistake, because I already knew everything. Elias stayed in the living room, out of sight but close enough to hear. Backup, witness, stability. I stepped aside casually. Come in. Chloe entered slowly, scanning my apartment like someone expecting to find clues or hoping not to. She sat on the sofa, still fidgeting with her phone. I didn't sit. I stood opposite her, letting her feel the imbalance. So, I said carefully, you wanted to talk. Chloe forced a smile. Yeah, I just felt weird after you messaged me today. I wanted to check in, make sure everything's okay between us. Between us, not between her and Lucas, not about the dinner lie. Not about the late night messages she sent him. No, she made the conversation about our friendship. Classic manipulator move, shift the topic, look innocent, play emotional. Of course, I said evenly. Why wouldn't it be? She blinked. She wasn't expecting that. The cracks start showing. Chloe tucked her hair behind her ear, pretending to look relaxed. I just didn't want you thinking I was distant or hiding anything. I care about you, Ava. Lie. She looked me straight in the eyes when she said it. A guilty person always overdoes eye contact. They think it makes them believable. I noticed you seemed stressed lately, she continued smoothly, and I wanted to be here for you. My jaw clenched invisibly. Be here for me while sleeping with my partner. I didn't break, didn't react. Instead, I tilted my head and asked softly, Chloe, why did you want dinner tonight? She inhaled sharply just for a second, then recovered. Oh, I just wanted to spend more time with you and Lucas, catch up. I nodded slowly. You didn't mention it to Nora. Her eyes flickered, so small. So quick, but I saw it. Oh, she said, must have slipped my mind. Another sloppy lie. Nora never left her mind. Nora was her best friend, her shadow, her substitute conscience, and now her liability. The moment she panics, Chloe's knee was bouncing. Her fingers drummed against her thigh. She wasn't here to check on me. She was here because she felt threatened. Something, maybe Lucas's panic, maybe Nora's surprise, made her think I suspected. She leaned forward. Ava, if something is bothering you, please tell me. I want us to be honest. Honest from her. The irony almost made me laugh. Instead, I gave her nothing. No, I said calmly, I'm perfectly fine. But my lack of vulnerability, that scared her more because she expected tears. A meltdown, insecurity, a clueless Ava, not this Ava. Her mask started slipping. She tries one last manipulation. Chloe took a deep, shaky breath. I just hope you trust me, she said quietly. You know I'd never hurt you. There it was, the script, the line cheaters use before the truth comes out. I stared at her, not blinkingly, not aggressively, just studying. Like she was a puzzle I'd already solved but wanted to watch crumble piece by piece. Of course I trust you, I said with a light smile, but you look nervous. Her lips parted, her breath caught. She wasn't expecting that. And nervous, no. I'm fine, no reason to be nervous, Chloe. I shrugged. Why would there be? Her skin paled slightly. She was unraveling, and then her phone buzzed, a single notification. She glanced at her screen for a half second, but that was enough. Because I saw the name, Lucas. Her thumb moved quickly, flipping the screen face down before I could see more, but I'd already seen enough. Chloe froze. My apartment suddenly felt colder, quieter, tighter. I stepped closer, slowly, controlled, calm. Chloe, I murmured, is there something you want to tell me? Her throat bobbed, her fingers tightened around the phone, her entire body went stiff, because she knew I knew. Chloe didn't breathe. Or maybe she did, but it was so shallow it barely counted. Her shoulders locked. Her eyes flickered. Her fingers hovered over her phone like she was protecting a newborn secret, and in a way she was. I kept my voice soft. Non-accusatory, almost gentle. Chloe, I repeated, is there something you want to tell me? Her pupils widened, fear, not surprise. She wasn't confused, she was calculating, she was deciding which lie might save her. I don't know what you mean, she whispered. Weak lie, automatic lie, low-effort lie. She didn't even bother to add emotion to it. I stepped closer, slowly, giving her time to stew in the tension. I just noticed you seem tense, I said lightly, like you're hiding something. She laughed, too loud, too sharp. Hiding something? Ava, come on, you know me. I do, I said, and that's why I'm asking. Her eyes darted to the door, then to the hallway behind me. She was checking for Lucas. She was terrified he'd come out. Because if he walked in right now, her lies might shatter all at once. She tries to shift the blame. I think, she said slowly, that maybe you're the one hiding something from me. I smiled inside, classic projection, a cheater's favorite move. Oh, I asked sweetly, and what would that be? She leaned back, crossing her arms like she was reclaiming control. You've been acting so distant lately, so suspicious, like you don't trust anyone. Interesting, she was trying to pathologize my behavior, make me the problem. That's not true, I replied calmly. I trust the people who are honest with me. Another tiny flinch, small but real, her jaw tightened, and for the first time since she arrived, she actually looked angry, not defensive. Not wounded, angry. That was the real Chloe slipping through. "What exactly are you trying to say?" she hissed under her breath. I stared at her, not blinking, not softening, and let the silence stretch, because silence makes liars nervous. She cracked first, "The accusation she didn't expect. You keep glancing at your phone," I said quietly. "Whose message were you hiding?" Her breath hitched just a little, but enough. "That's none of your business." "Usually, my best friend's messages aren't off limits." She swallowed hard. "It's work," she blurted. "A client." Lie. Her voice went too fast, the words too rushed. "What kind of client texts at 8 in the evening?" I asked. "The demanding kind." She shot up from the sofa, pacing. Her mask wasn't just slipping now, it was cracking down the middle. "You think I'm lying? You think I'm doing something shady?" She threw her hands up. "Ava, how could you?" "Because," I cut in quietly, "your phone lit up with Lucas's name." The room went dead still. Chloe froze mid-step, her mouth hung open, not in surprise, but in pure, unfiltered terror. It felt like the entire building inhaled and held its breath. Ava, I can explain," she whispered. Of course she could. Liars always think they can, her desperate half-confession. "I swear it's not what you think," she said quickly, tears welling, or maybe she forced them. "It's not like that." "What is it like then?" I asked, folding my arms. "We're just talking sometimes, that's all." "Talking, the cheater's favorite verb." I raised an eyebrow. "Just talking?" "Yes," she insisted, stepping closer. "You know how Lucas can be. He vents, he complains, he talks about you sometimes." "About me," I echoed, keeping my face unreadable. "And why would he talk about me to you?" She realized too late she'd cornered herself. I mean, not in a bad way, just he needed advice." "Advice?" She was spiraling. "Advice about what?" I asked, her lips trembled. "That's between you two," she said desperately. "I shouldn't say, coward." She wanted to protect Lucas, not me. Not surprising, traitors always defend each other. The moment the truth slips out, I stepped right up to her, close enough to feel her breath, close enough she couldn't look away. "Chloe," I whispered, "are you sure there's nothing else?" She actually broke, her eyes squeezed shut, her shoulders slumped, her voice shook. "We didn't mean for it to happen." There it was. The truth crawling out of her throat like poison. I didn't move, didn't speak, didn't let her off the hook. "Happen?" I repeated softly. "What exactly happened?" She opened her eyes, and in them I saw guilt, fear, shame. But I also saw something else, relief. Because she thought this was as bad as it could get. She had no idea how much I already knew or how far my revenge would go. "Ava," she whispered, voice trembling. "I'm so sorry." I smiled. A small, cold, controlled smile. "Not yet," I said quietly. "But you will be." I didn't raise my voice, I didn't cry, I didn't rage. I just stood there staring at Chloe while her guilty little confession hung in the air like smoke from a fire she started. Her eyes were glossy, red around the edges, her breathing shallow. "We didn't mean for it to happen," she had said. A line so worn out it should come pre-printed on cheaters' apology cards. I kept my face unreadable. It scared her more. Chloe wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "Ava, please say something." "I did," I answered softly. "I said you will be sorry." She flinched as if the words hit her physically. Right then, the front door clicked. Both of us froze, a slow turn of a key, the handle shifting, a step inside. Lucas, of course he walked in at the worst possible time. Life has a taste for theatrics. He stepped into the living room, saw Chloe first, then me. His expression shifted like a slideshow, confusion right arrow, tension right arrow, panic. "Ava," he said carefully. "Chloe, what's going on?" Chloe practically jumped. "Lucas, Ava and I were just talking," but Lucas wasn't looking at her. His eyes were glued to me, my posture, my calm, my silence. He knew those three things meant danger. "Ava," he repeated, slower this time, "what are you doing?" I tilted my head slightly. "Listening." He swallowed hard. Chloe threw him a desperate look, a silent plea. "Lie for us, save us, fix this." And for the first time I saw it, their alliance, their secret language, their synchronized fear. They had been covering for each other for a long time. Lucas walked farther into the room. "What did she tell you?" he asked. "She said," I replied gently, "that something happened." Lucas froze, Chloe's eyes widened. I folded my arms. "I'm waiting," I said quietly. His first lie, sloppy and immediate. Ava, listen, Lucas said, rubbing his forehead. You're misunderstanding. No, I interrupted softly, not this time. He blinked, thrown by how calm I was. Calm scares liars more than screaming ever will. There's nothing going on, he insisted. Chloe and I were just friends, you know that. Chloe pressed her lips together, her whole body tightening. I raised an eyebrow. So she imagined it? He hesitated for half a second. For liars, half a second is a confession. Ava, he tried again, smiling awkwardly. You're just stressed. You're reading too much into. I cut him off again. I saw the messages, Lucas. Silence. Cold, immediate, suffocating. Lucas's reaction came in waves. Shock, right arrow, anger, right arrow, defense, right arrow, panic. Ava, he whispered, you went through my phone. That's what you care about right now. He looked away. Exactly. He wasn't outraged that he was accused. He was terrified that he'd been caught. Chloe cracks before he does while Lucas spiraled internally. Chloe broke first. She stepped forward. Ava, please don't blame Lucas. It wasn't all him. Lucas snapped his head toward her. Chloe, stop, but she couldn't. Guilt had too many cracks inside her. I can't do this anymore, she said, her voice breaking. She knows, Lucas. He clenched his jaw. You're making it worse. She wasn't listening, she was unraveling. We didn't plan for this, she cried. It just happened, we didn't want to hurt you. Chloe, Lucas barked, shut up, and there it was. Not sympathy, not regret, control. Shut up, I repeated quietly. Is that how you talk to your girlfriend or your affair partner? Chloe gasped. Lucas froze, and suddenly the roles flipped. They weren't a team anymore. They were two drowning people trying to use each other as a life raft. Lucas tries the last defense, manipulation. He turned to me, softer now, begging, Ava, baby, listen to me. I didn't move, didn't blink. We messed up, he said, but it was never serious. It was just a mistake, one mistake, and we stopped. It didn't mean anything. Chloe flinched again, a harsh truth for her, a weapon for me. Not serious, I echoed. Then why were you meeting her behind my back for months? The color drained from his face. Chloe's head snapped toward him. Months? Oh, she didn't know that part. Lucas slowly closed his eyes. Lucas, she whispered, trembling, you told me it started recently. He didn't answer, because there was no right answer, only more lies, more betrayal, more rot. Chloe backed away from him, tears streaming. You lied to me too, she whispered. Lucas reached out. Please, Chloe, but she jerked away. I watched it all quietly, two liars eating each other alive. The moment I take control, Ava, Lucas said, turning back to me, desperation in every line of his face, we can fix this. I'll block her, I'll work on us, I love you. I stepped toward him, calm, steady. I want you both to suffer the way I did. And the hope vanished completely. Lucas stood there, pale and speechless. Chloe was still crying into her trembling hands. Their shared panic filled the room like thick smoke. Me, I felt nothing. No grief, no heartbreak, just clarity, because revenge doesn't start with shouting or throwing things or dramatic exits. Revenge begins quietly, with decisions, and I had just made mine. I took a slow breath and looked from Lucas to Chloe, both of them frozen in their guilt. You two think the worst part is that I know, I said softly, but the worst part is that I'm not reacting the way you expected. Chloe lowered her hands. Lucas blinked, confused. Good, confusion is where my control began. Step 1, separation. I stepped past both of them and grabbed my purse from the counter. Lucas's voice cracked. Ava, where are you going? Out. He moved toward me, frantic. We're not done talking. Oh, we are, I said without looking back. You two just haven't realized it yet. You can't just walk out, he snapped. I turned, meeting his eyes with a calm so sharp it cut him. Lucas, you lost the right to tell me what I can do. His mouth opened, then closed. Chloe whispered. Ava, please don't leave. We need to explain. You explained enough, I said, and the rest I already know. I opened the door, stepped outside, and right before closing it, I added, whatever happens next. You brought it on yourselves. I shut the door on their faces. Step 2, let them spiral without me. The second I reached the hallway, my phone buzzed violently. Lucas, Ava, please don't leave like this. Let's talk. Lucas, I swear it wasn't serious. I don't want her, I want you. Chloe, Ava, I'm begging you, please don't hate me. It was stupid. It meant nothing. We're so sorry. Good, let them panic. Let them drown in their own desperation. I put my phone on silent and walked out of the building. Step 3, Elias. I found Elias exactly where he said he'd be, outside his car, leaning against the hood, arms crossed, watching the entrance. His expression shifted the moment he saw my face. Ava. His voice was soft, steady. What happened? They confessed, I said simply. He exhaled slowly like he'd been holding his breath for hours. You okay? Yes, it was true. Not okay emotionally, that would take time, but okay in the way that mattered right now, focused, clear, in control. He opened the passenger door for me. Come on, you shouldn't be alone tonight. I slid into the seat. When he got in beside me, he glanced over. So what's next? He asked quietly. I looked out the window, feeling the cold satisfaction settle in my bones. I'm going to make them unravel, not with yelling, not with threats. I turned back to him. I'm going to let them destroy each other. Step 4: the ice cold return. I didn't stay at Elias' place, that wasn't part of the plan. Instead, he drove me back 3 hours later, around midnight. Just late enough that Lucas and Chloe would be exhausted, emotionally destroyed, filled with paranoia and regret. Perfect. When I entered the apartment, the lights were still on. Lucas was pacing. Chloe sat on the edge of the couch, hugging herself. They both shot up when they saw me. Lucas rushed toward me instantly. Ava, thank God you're back. I held up a hand. He stopped dead. Chloe stood up too. Her voice was tiny. Ava will do anything you want, anything. Good, I said softly. Let's start with honesty. They exchanged a terrified look. From now on, I continued, you answer everything I ask. No lies, no excuses, no half-truths. Lucas nodded quickly. Of course, yes, whatever you want. Zid. They obeyed immediately. Lucas on the left, Chloe on the right, both shaking. I paced in front of them slowly. You two didn't just betray me, I said. You built an entire second world behind my back. Chloe sobbed. Lucas stared at the floor. I leaned down slightly, meeting their terrified eyes. So now. I smiled. I'm going to take your world apart piece by piece. Step 5. The first psychological strike. I turned to Lucas. Tell her, I said. He blinked. Tell who what? Tell Chloe what you told me. Confusion washed over both of them. I clarified, the part where you said she meant nothing. Chloe's breath caught. Lucas's entire body locked. I didn't mean. Say it, I repeated calmly. Chloe whispered, voice cracking. Lucas, you said that. Lucas was sweating. Ava, please don't do this. Say it. He shut his eyes. It didn't mean anything, he whispered. It was a mistake. Chloe broke completely. She covered her face and sobbed uncontrollably. I watched it unfold with cold detachment. This wasn't vengeance yet. This was just the first crack, a preview. A warning. Lucas reached for her. She jerked away. Don't touch me, she cried. I thought you cared about me. Lucas shot me a look that was half angry, half pleading. Ava, please, you're hurting her. Good. Both of them looked at me in horror. You two didn't care about hurting me, I said quietly, so don't expect sympathy. Their silence was like music, and then, calmly, I delivered my next move. Tomorrow, I said, we start phase 2. Chloe blinked through tears. What's phase 2? I smiled. You'll see. Lucas and Chloe barely slept that night. I knew because I didn't sleep either, not out of pain, but out of calculation. I could hear them whispering in the living room. Lucas, she's going to ruin us. No, I'll fix it. I'll fix everything. You said you cared about me. Chloe, please don't start that. Their fear was thick. Their guilt louder than any apology, and by morning they both looked like ghosts. Perfect. Phase 2 wasn't about screaming or exposing them to the world. Not yet. Phase 2 was about turning them against each other. Slowly, quietly, deliberately. Because once two guilty people stop trusting each other, they implode on their own. The morning after, silent observation. When I walked into the kitchen, Lucas straightened up like a soldier seeing a superior officer. Chloe flinched, looking down at her coffee. Good morning, I said calmly. They both murmured weak greetings. No one sat until I did. I took a sip of water, watching them over the rim. Today, I said, we're going to answer some questions. Lucas nodded quickly. Anything you want. Chloe swallowed. Okay. I leaned back in the chair. First question, who made the first move? Their expressions split instantly. Lucas looked at Chloe. Chloe looked at Lucas. And for the first time, they didn't match. The first divide. Chloe spoke first. Lucas did. Lucas jerked. What? No, I did. You texted me. Chloe's eyes widened, offended. I texted you because you told me Ava was emotionally distant and you needed a friend. I smiled internally. The cracks were widening. Chloe, Lucas said through gritted teeth. You kissed me first. Her jaw dropped. That's a lie. Is it? I asked softly. They both turned toward me. Lucas pale. Chloe furious. I wasn't done. If kissing was Chloe's idea, I said, then Lucas lied to me every time he said he was pressured. Lucas stuttered. Ava, I wasn't pressured, I just she. Chloe scoffed loudly. He told me you were cold and selfish. Oh, this got interesting, I blinked. He said that. Chloe pressed her lips together but nodded. Lucas panicked. No, Ava, that's not what I said, she's twisting it. Really? I asked quietly. So Chloe is a liar and you're innocent. Lucas froze. He couldn't say yes, he couldn't say no, and that was exactly the trap. Turning up the heat. Next question, I said, when did it start? Lucas exhaled shakily. A few months ago. Chloe snapped around to him. Months, you told me it was recent. He winced. Chloe, not here. Not here, she shouted. You lied to me too. You lied first, he shot back. Everything was your idea, you threw yourself at. Lucas, I said, cutting him off. Stop before you embarrass yourself. He shut his mouth instantly. Chloe wiped her eyes. So he's blaming everything on me, she muttered. Of course. Chloe, Lucas hissed, stop lying. Oh, shut up, she snapped. They were unraveling beautifully, I didn't even have to push. The hard truth and another wedge. I leaned forward, resting my elbows on the table. Let me explain something to you both, I said softly. You didn't fall in love, you didn't make a romantic mistake, you were lost or confused. They stared at me, breathing unevenly. You were two weak people who used each other to escape your own insecurities. Chloe sobbed quietly. Lucas clenched his fists. Now, I said, I want you to answer honestly. Did either of you ever actually plan a future together? Lucas shook his head instantly. No, never. Chloe looked shattered. You told me you needed me. Lucas closed his eyes. I didn't mean it like that. So you lied to her too, I said. His voice broke. Ava, please. Chloe turned to me with a cracking voice. He said you didn't care about him anymore. I looked directly at Lucas. Say it, I whispered. He looked at the floor. I didn't mean it. Say it. He swallowed hard. It was a lie. Chloe's face crumpled even more. The moment I break them apart completely. Then I asked the question designed to shatter the last bit of their alliance. Who did you love more? My voice was quiet, but the words landed like a weapon. Lucas stared at me. Chloe stared at him. Silence, deep, sharp. Lucas whispered. Ava. Chloe gasped like someone stabbed her. Lucas reached toward her. Chloe, please, I didn't mean. She slapped his hand away, crying too hard to breathe. You used me, she choked. You used me the whole time. Lucas was trembling now. Chloe, I'm sorry, please. She pushed back her chair violently and stood up. I can't even look at you, she spat. You disgust me. She grabbed her bag and stormed toward the door. Lucas jumped up. Chloe, wait. She slammed the door in his face. He stood frozen, hand on the handle, staring at the wood like he'd just watched his entire world collapse. He hadn't, just half of it. The other half was still standing in the kitchen. Me, phase 2. Complete. Lucas turned to me slowly. His eyes were red, wet, desperate. Ava, he whispered. What are you going to do now? I walked up to him, stopping inches away, and with a voice cold enough to freeze fire, I said, now. Now I finish what you started. The fear in his face wasn't panic anymore, it was realization. He finally understood this wasn't revenge fueled by emotion, this was revenge fueled by strategy. And he wasn't ready for what came next. The morning after my revenge plan was executed felt strange, not triumphant, not angry, not sad, just quiet, a kind of silence that settles into your bones when a storm has finally passed. I woke up in my apartment, wrapped in my own sheets, sunlight warming my face. No messages from Lucas, no calls, no frantic apologies, nothing, the kind of silence a guilty person hides behind. I made coffee slowly, letting the smell fill the kitchen, and sat by the window the way I hadn't done in months. For the first time, I wasn't waiting for someone to disappoint me, I was just there. The aftermath begins. By noon, the fallout started. Lucas tried to reach me, of course he did, but not with remorse, with panic. First, a simple text, Lucas, we need to talk. Then another, Lucas, you didn't have to do all that. It wasn't fair. Fair? That word made me laugh quietly, because fairness died the day he cheated, the day he built a secret world behind my back. When I didn't respond, he escalated, Lucas, you ruined my life. Everyone thinks I'm a liar, a fool. I typed a reply, then deleted it, typed again, deleted it again. Finally, I sent exactly what I needed to say. I didn't ruin anything, I just revealed what you were hiding. No anger. No shaking hands, just truth. He didn't reply, a moment for clarity. Later that afternoon, I called Elias. I did it, I said simply. I know, he replied calmly, you look free. I smiled a real smile. Not the one I'd forced for months, because I am. The evening of quiet victory. That night, I didn't wait for Lucas to grovel. I didn't wait for Chloe to apologize. I sat in my apartment, poured myself a glass of wine, and let myself feel the weight lift from my shoulders. For the first time in months, I could breathe. I realized the revenge wasn't in seeing them suffer. The real victory was in taking my life back. I was done shrinking, done doubting myself, done loving people who didn't deserve me. Chapter 10 ends not with chaos but with calm clarity. Ava was free. And that freedom was her ultimate revenge. The first morning after everything settled, I woke up feeling lighter than I had in years. No texts, no calls, no desperate apologies, just silence, the kind that finally lets you breathe. I made coffee, sat by the window, and watched the city wake up. For the first time in months, I didn't feel anger simmering under my skin. I felt calm, clear, free. Lucas and Chloe, they were gone from my life just as I wanted. I didn't need to check their messages, their social media, or hear about their side of the story anymore. They had already destroyed themselves with their own lies, and I had simply watched it unfold. Taking back control. I didn't seek revenge for the thrill of watching them suffer. I did it to reclaim myself. The real victory wasn't in their panic, their guilt, or even the apologies they would never fully give. The real victory was walking away with my dignity, my confidence, and my life intact. I spent the next few weeks doing things I had stopped allowing myself to enjoy. Long walks in the park, late-night coffees at my favorite cafe, laughing with friends who reminded me I was worthy, independent, unstoppable. Rebuilding life. Elias stayed by my side not as a replacement for the past, but as a reminder that some people are good, loyal, and trustworthy. Together, we planned a small weekend getaway just to celebrate life and freedom. I also started journaling again, but this time I wasn't writing about betrayal or revenge. I was writing about me. My goals, my dreams, my future. Each word reminded me that my life was mine to shape, no one else's to destroy. Closure. A part of me wondered if I would ever forgive Lucas and Chloe, not for them, but for me. Maybe